Hi guys and welcome. Today I am making an extremely easy summer dessert. I've made this many times before, but it's been a while. And this requires absolutely no skill. So if you've never baked before, if you just need something that's super quick, this is the recipe for you. So what we're making is an ice cream cake. But how we're making it is out of ice cream sandwiches. So most of the work is already done for us, and we're just going to dress these up. But you will be surprised at how elevated these become when you add the toppings to them, and how much people will enjoy these and be asking you for your recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble this, and I'm going to start it. I'm going to time it, so we're not going to stop. We're not going to edit. We're just going to keep going, and we're going to see how quickly we can actually assemble this delicious dessert. So you'll know in a pinch that you've got something you can fall back on and either just make for your family or bring to a gathering, and everybody's going to love this. All right, so let me start my timer here. Okay, so I've started my stopwatch. We're going to see just exactly how long it takes to put this dessert together. Now, the largest amount of time may possibly be unwrapping these ice cream sandwiches, but I did want to include everything from start to finish and see how long it actually takes us. Yep, I think I'm right. The longest part's going to be unwrapping these. Now, I originally went out and bought some mini ice cream sandwiches. That's what the original recipe calls for, 17 mini ice cream sandwiches. A couple issues with that. The boxes that I found only had 16 in them. So I got them anyway, brought them home and just put them inside this pan in their wrapper and realized that 16 was not going to do it. So I went out and got these full size. Oh, look at that. That one came right out. And I believe these are going to be fine, and then have a little bit left over. This is what I always use in the past, was just the full size. It's also less unwrapping. You've got 12 of these compared to 16 of the mini. Saves up a little bit extra time. Normally I would just fast forward through something like this. I apologize that you have to watch me unwrap 12 of these. But for the sake of timing it, we're just going to get through it. It's about to break, and it's all right if it does, because this is all going together, and you're going to cut them into squares eventually anyway. Okay, so I think we have to cut this one. Cut that in half. Put that in there. Then I think I'm going to cut it in half the long ways, because I really want to fill in these little edges here. I want to make this as covered as we can, as far as that bottom layer. Okay, so we'll cut this lengthwise, put it in there, and then we'll add that into there. You're really just kind of filling in the gaps at this point. Beauty of it is whatever you have left over that doesn't fit in the pan, just eat it. Okay. All right, I've worked myself a little puzzle there on the bottom. So the biggest part of that is done. Now we're gonna have 12 ounces of caramel flavored topping, and you're just gonna pour that right over the top. Now the beauty of this recipe is you can also change it up to whatever you like. So if you're not a fan of caramel, you can certainly add fudge topping, or like a fruit topping or something would be really, really good. If you really want to go crazy, add it all. Okay, so just going to spread that out. My hands are getting really sticky at this point, but I don't want to stop and wash them. Okay, there's the caramel topping. Next. Oh, I did see too, at the store, there's ice cream sandwiches now that are double stuffed. So they're thicker, and I thought about getting them, but I really wasn't sure because I'd never used them before, how far up in the pan. But I think we've got plenty of room. You could get the double stuffed, and that would work really great too. All right, so next is just Cool Whip. And I came home and put this in the refrigerator because this would be a whole lot more difficult to spread if I had put that in the freezer. I probably could have let it thaw even a little bit more. And again, you can put whatever toppings you want on this. Thought this would be really good, maybe with Snicker pieces on top. Okay, there's a Cool Whip layer. Now this recipe calls for a symphony bar, and it's the symphony with the almonds and toffee. That's what I've always used, but like I said, any candy bar, any other kind of topping would be really great on this, just personal preference. So when I got this out of the fridge, and I froze it just so it would break up a little easier, I just kind of whacked it against the counter. I'm just giving it, pardon the noise, a little extra. So the pieces are a little bit smaller when I open this. Oops, my scissors. Okay. I'm just going to break up some of those bigger pieces with my hands. As you can see, this takes absolutely no skill whatsoever. You can layer some things on top of one another. You can do this recipe. But even for people like me who've been baking, you know, I've baked my whole life. Sometimes it's just nice to have a quick and easy dessert and know that it's going to taste the same every time and people are going to love it. Okay, so we're just going to, and these could be smaller. It might be helpful to even put them in the freezer, or to put the candy bar in the freezer and then break it up a little bit more. We are just sprinkling that on top. And again, you can top this off with caramel, any other kind of topping that you like. But for this recipe, it calls for chocolate syrup. So we're just going to drizzle. Again, you can't really mess that up. And you can leave this out. So if somebody wants more, or you can have caramel, people can, you know, adjust it or add whatever toppings they like to it. Okay, so that is done. Let me stop my watch. Mine says 8 minutes, 52 seconds. This is done. We can, you could eat it now. If you want it to have a little bit more of a, if you want it to set up a little bit more, be a little more firm, you can pop it, cover it up and pop it in the freezer for an hour and then cut it, which is, I think, what I'm going to do. So it's done, but I'm going to pop it in the freezer and then get it back out when it's done, and cut it up and give it a try. Okay, so this has been in the freezer for an hour, and we're going to slice it up and give it a taste test. Now, I was thinking while this was in the freezer that this would be really good if you did like some banana split toppings on it. So yeah, just some bananas and strawberry and pineapple. You could do so many things with this dessert. Okay, enough talking. Yeah, that's set up pretty good, and it's fine. I think I would prefer it with the Cool Whip a little bit more frozen, so I might freeze it a little bit longer. You've got that ice cream cake in there, and then the ooey gooey caramel. And then the crunch of the symphony bar. Yeah, that's every bit as good as I remember. So I rushed through that just to prove a point that you can make a delicious and very easy, very simple recipe. It doesn't require a whole lot of ingredients, a whole lot of time, a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of know-how. So if being in the kitchen intimidates you, start simple. Start with something like this, an easy recipe, just a few ingredients, and it's going to get your feet wet a little bit, and it's really going to make you feel a little more comfortable in the kitchen, and that's going to build. You're going to find yourself wanting to try different recipes and expand your knowledge a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try this dessert. And if you do, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you might add for topping. I'd love to hear that. And if you don't mind, clicking that subscribe button so you can follow along with me for more desserts and lots of other things in the garden. Fall's coming, so that's an exciting time for me. And I hope to see you next time. All right, this has been in the freezer for an hour. Time to open it up and give it a try. Maybe. Holy shit, the lid's frozen to the... What the hell?